I thought 2023 had so many cozy games scheduled to come out that we probably wouldn't be seeing many more. But apparently Nintendo didn't think we had enough and have not only given us a ton of games coming out this year, but a lot of them are coming out in the first half of this year. And I literally cannot wait to share them. First up is a game franchise I had literally never expected to see again. This is Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. I have never in my life been so excited to see a middle-aged man in a Nintendo Direct. And I had a look, and this turns out to be the first Professor Layton mainline game since 2013. Yup, it's been 10 years since we last saw this man grace our small screens. For those who aren't aware of the Professor Layton series, it used to be a wildly popular game on the DS, and then not so popular once it hit the 3DS. In fact, it was so popular in its early years that it was once the fastest selling game in the United Kingdom. It kind of gives you Sherlock Holmes vibes as you follow Professor Layton, a professor in archaeology, as he travels the UK, solving puzzles and uncovering the truth of the overarching mystery of the game. There were quite a few Professor Layton games, and the mystery kind of changed with each one of them. But alongside Animal Crossing on the DS, this was probably my little tiptoe into cozy gaming as a kid. The puzzles themselves were a lot of fun, and actually they were really unique looking back at it, as quite often you would need to think outside of the box to even stand a chance in solving it. But thanks to the great in-game hint system, I never really felt that frustrated, and it struck a beautiful balance. Each puzzle you solved in the game would then reward you with a snippet of cutscene and story, making it all feel worthwhile. And I was very, very invested in the story. Now, one thing I am interested to see is that on the original DS game, it was very much touchscreen orientated. So I'm interested to see how they're going to translate this to the Switch. I'm also interested to see what they're going to do with all the extra power. They could do so much with the cutscenes and the story that they could never do on the DS. And overall, I'm just so heckin' excited to see this back on our Nintendo system. Next is possibly the game I am the most excited for out of the entire Nintendo Direct lineup. And this is Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time. To me, visually, this kind of looks like Animal Crossing merged with the Story of Seasons games, and I love it. One thing I didn't realize until someone in chat pointed it out to me is that the Fantasy Life games are not new to a Nintendo system. The last game of this franchise we saw was in fact on the 3DS, and if you don't know, Fantasy Life is an RPG with a strong life sim element. Now, the trailer itself did not give us a whole lot of information, but from what we can tell, it looks as though the story involves time travel and sees you try and build your own city. You can gather resources, you can cook, you can decorate, but on top of being a life sim, there's an actual story. To me, this is the one thing, especially the late game in Animal Crossing, was really missing, was direction. Once you got 3 stars in Animal Crossing, it just said, the world's your oyster, go off and do whatever you want. And for some people, that was fantastic. But for people like me, I can't even decide what I want for dinner each night. How am I meant to decide what I'm gonna do in a video game? Just tell me what to do and I'll have a great time. So I'm really glad this game's kind of taken a little bit more direction in that sense. And it seems to be a lot more of a quest-based life sim, as not only are there story-based quests that will help you get through the main story, villagers will also have quests for you to do in which you can get money and spend that money on whatever you want. So honestly, provided there's enough hours of content with the story and the side quests, this might become my new Animal Crossing. But don't worry if you think it's looking a little bit too familiar. One cool thing about Fantasy Life is when you start the game, you get to pick from 12 different careers. These careers are also incredibly vast. It can be anything from cooking to being a wizard, being a mercenary, an alchemist, or a carpenter, and many, many more things. And if this game is anything like the 3DS version, then carrying out tasks will actually help you not only level up your career, but also unlock skills tailored to your class. And the best part is, you don't even have to worry about making that decision at the beginning of the game, because at any point, for the most part, you can change your career. so it's not even that big a deal. This is kind of the game I've been looking for. Something that isn't just farming focused, but a new life sim cozy game that I can just spend hours upon hours in, and I can't wait for it to come out. The sad news is we have no idea when in 2023 it's coming out. I just hope it's before Fae Farm, because I cannot wait till the end of the year to have both of those games. I think the next game is on stream, the game people were most excited for, and that's Fashion Dreamer. Now, these types of games were actually huge on the 3DS, more specifically Style Boutique, and I was wondering why we haven't seen any of this type on the Nintendo Switch, and finally it's here, and it looks incredible. There looks to be a ridiculous amount of clothing options in the game, and you can even hang out with people online as well, which I think is a huge addition. The whole game sees you try and become a stylish influencer, and you do this by not only dressing yourself, but you can also dress other influencers you find along the way. Each influencer you dress will reward you with points that you can use to buy even more clothes. I honestly can't wait to see a slightly longer trailer to see what else you can get up to in the game, but it's a cozy game that has definitely been missing on the Nintendo Switch, and I am so glad that those of you who loved Style Boutique finally got the sequel you are looking for. Next is Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, and this is for everyone who loves a good interactive story. Like every good game of this genre, your in-game decisions will have consequences in this branch story. The story itself is set in a world where aspirations and humans live in harmony. Well, until a mega corporation put that harmony at risk. It looks as though you follow Polly, who has a divine gift in clairvoyance, meaning that she can travel between the worlds and even see the future. With 6 aspirations to choose from to partner with, you are fully in control of the story and its ending. And on top of this, the game's music is by the same person who composed the music for Celeste. Unfortunately, this won't be out until June, but I am still so excited for it. I know with the next game you are going to question whether it counts as cozy or not, but I say it does. This is Bayonetta Origins. The more gameplay I see, the more excited I get. The voice acting, the art style, the gameplay, I am so here for it. In this, you play as Cereza, a young witch who ventures into a forest ruled by fairies. Not the friendly type of fairies though, the attacking you type of fairies. You do all this to try and seek out the power to rescue your mum. In the newest trailer, we got to see even more gameplay footage. And more importantly, we got to see this adorable Cheshire cat. Not only do you have this cat as your companion, you can control this demon cat in battle. The thing I found really interesting is the fact that you control both the cat and Cereza, but Cereza herself is basically just playing a support to the demon cat. So she can do things like holding really strong enemies in place, helping the Cheshire cat to defeat it. And that kind of makes this game less hack and slash and more tactical, which I really, really like. But the thing for me that makes the combat worthwhile is being rewarded with a good chunk of story afterwards. It's what kept me invested in Xenoblade through the huge boss battles, and I really want to see if the story's worth the battling. Either way, we're going to find out soon because the game actually comes out March 17th, and that's really not that far away. Then we have Pikmin 4. I'm still very much on the fence as to whether a Pikmin game even counts as cozy, because to me personally, being in charge of that many tiny little Pikmin is so stressful, but I decided to include it in this list because they gave us more information, and that information is you get a pet dog. Dogs do instantly make games cozy. I don't make the rules. We really don't know a lot about the game whatsoever. We can just see that visually it is absolutely stunning. It looks to be more of the classic Pikmin gameplay, and I'm really interested into what they do with the dog further down the line. But oh my god, does the dog look cute carrying all the Pikmin on its back. I love it so much. Then we have We Love Katamari Reroll. I love the Katamari games so much. They have so much character, they are so wacky, and are genuinely a lot of fun. The premise is pretty simple. You have a ball and you roll over objects smaller than your ball to make your ball larger. As your ball grows, so does the size of the objects you can roll over. It is so chaotic, but so much fun. A great stress relieving game as well, and the levels are just ridiculous. So I definitely recommend having a look if you haven't ever given these games a go. Then we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Now, I won't spend too long on this because I've mentioned this game coming up a few different times. But the interesting thing is, there looks to be all these additional levels that they're adding in. I was a bit on the fence about this game, especially after Kirby and the Forgotten Land, as I don't know how you could get any better than that. But seeing as you get the whole original Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and now these additional levels, I am definitely more tempted to give it a go. In these extra levels, you basically play as Magolor and you try and get his magical abilities back by playing each level. And you can access all of these levels once you finish story mode of the original game. And there's a demo available right now which you can download and give a go before you decide if you're going to buy the game. Then we have Disney Illusion Island. I'm not normally much of a platformer, but I love the look of this. You play as Mickey and his friends as they look for 3 magical books to save the island. As you progress, you get new abilities that help you explore more areas, and you can even play with up to 3 friends too. I love the fact they went for kind of the original Mickey Mouse cartoon vibes. The only thing that's really putting me off though is the price. Right now it's listed as £35, which seems a little steep for the type of platformer that it is, especially when you compare it to something like Ori. So it's definitely one of those games where I'd wait for the reviews to kind of see whether you should pick it up. Then we're on to Disney Dreamlight Valley. Yes, I know I speak about this game a ton, but we actually got shown some extra information about the update in the Nintendo Direct. Can we just say how cool it is that Disney Dreamlight Valley appeared in the Direct? Cozy games are going mainstream and I love it. Not only did we see a snippet in the Direct itself, they then shared an extra little bit on their Twitter account, and that shows that not only are we getting Simba, we're also getting Nala too. And we even get a little bit of a glimpse to the new realm that's coming as well. If you didn't know, the update is arriving on the 16th of February, so really not long to wait. And I'll be streaming day 1 of the update on YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Another upcoming game that looks really interesting is Ghost Trick. Now this looks to be a remake or remaster of the original, and it's a murder mystery where you play as a ghost, trying to figure out not only who you were, but also who murdered you. It's a murder mystery, what is there not to love? But being a ghost isn't all bad though. You do get a few perks. You can possess objects and you can pause time. This allows you to actually influence the land of living people and get them to do something slightly different than what they would have done if you left the object alone. And by doing that, you can save lives. It looks like a cool murder mystery puzzle solving type game that I am very excited to see come to the Switch. I couldn't end the video without at least touching on Tears of the Kingdom. I am so excited, but the game looks terrifying. I don't know what it is about music in reverse, but it really gives me the heebie-jeebies. The wild thing is that the game is literally like, what, 4 months away? And we still know so little about the story. At this point, I'm not even convinced this game happens after Breath of the Wild. I'm not complaining though, I kind of love the mystery surrounding the game. They also showed off this incredible collector's edition. I want it so badly. I think it's going to be a nightmare to get my hands on, but I'm going to try my best. The only thing I was slightly surprised about was the fact that there was no Nintendo OLED released at the same time. I really thought there was going to be a themed OLED Switch with it, but maybe it'll come out later? Even though the game isn't as cozy as Breath of the Wild looked and is much darker in its tone, I am so looking forward to it. I'm actually getting ready to do another playthrough of Breath of the Wild, so I'm all ready for it. But that's everything I got for you today. Let me know which was your favorite announcement down below. And if you want to see some more upcoming witchy themed games, which I am really looking forward to, click this video here. I'll see you next time. Bye.